Ladies and gentlemen,
this is Gamertag Radio.
Welcome to Gamertag Radio, episode 1507. This is your host, Danny Pena. And also joining me, the one and only Rihanna Manuel Pena. What's up, Ree?
Hello over there.
How's everything?
Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome. You've been playing a lot lately. I know you've been playing Marathon and also the new Pokemon game. Yeah, I think we should do a separate podcast for that one.
Yeah, sure.
There's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot in that game, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But you've been loving it so far.
It's great. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the easy answer is yes.
Okay, all right. This episode, we're going to be talking about Marathon. So this is like you could say like a review of the game. And also I have from the New York Game Awards and also an award-winning journalist, Harold Goldberg. He's going to be talking about his new novel, The Skinny. So going to be later on this episode of Gamer Tag Radio. So, Ree, let's talk about Marathon. I think
let's do it.
It's been a good month because one thing we wanted to do is just play as much as we can, take our time. I think I have like 50 plus hours now playing Marathon. I play solo. I play duels with you, and also I'll play with friends. A couple friends, especially with Ka. I think
randoms that became friends.
Yes. We found a couple people like, yo, we got to stay in touch. We're good as a group, you know. So, yeah, like I'm gonna keep it real. Like I know the thing was like a beta that came out last year. Was it last year? Sometime last year. The first one that came out, I didn't like that. I didn't like it at all. I didn't enjoy it. I found it very boring. Right. So then the one that came out, I think like a week or two right before the full release.
The Server Slam.
That one I really, really enjoyed a lot more compared to the first demo that I played. And I was like, all right, let's see once the game releases. Let's see how much content is here. Let's see how the vibe is. And I've been enjoying it. And I just love that Bungie has been making a lot of changes based on feedback from the fans, which is really, really cool. In real time, we've been seeing new stuff in there. Like they added duels because people have been requesting that a lot, you know. And right now it's just testing stages still, you know. But I really enjoyed it. I'm really, really enjoying this game. I think the sound design of this is incredible. Music,
Bungie's known for that. Yeah,
Bungie's known for that. Music is like legendary in this one, you know, especially when you go to like different maps. Outpost, I think, is one of my favorite ones so far of like the music from this game. Just love the classes that's in there, right? The different type of character you could choose. The cosmetics is available there. I think the reward pass is a little bit weird for me. It's like whatever, you know, it's not the highlight of the game, but I think overall everything else, it feels good. Like it plays good. It's a lot of fun. Very challenging, very, very challenging. You know, I'm not a huge fan of like extraction shooters like Arc Raiders, and I know the Division had the Dark Zone. I was okay playing those type of games. I've always been all right with it, you know. But I feel like with this one, the Marathon, and I think it's because this one is first person that I feel like I could relate to more than the third person view of the other games. So, how about you? How's been like your experience so far with Marathon for you?
Well, goodness, overall, you know, kind of giving a high level before going into specific things that I really either appreciate or notice because I don't appreciate them.
Okay.
I find Marathon to be much more enjoyable to drop in and drop out of than other extraction shooters that I have attempted to play for at least a few minutes. I think it's an interesting choice, and I understand why they made it not free to play. Like I get why there is a roughly $40 price point for this game. If you can get past the introductory period, like if you can get through enough hours to start to understand the game loop, you know, what parts of the progression you're interested in as, you know, your play style. If you can get a couple of people to help show you around, even if it's just showing you around the menus, that helps a lot too. If you can get over that initial learning curve, I think it is more approachable than other extraction shooters. And it feels very Bungie, right? It feels very familiar as somebody who played so much Destiny that the shooting and the movement is very natural and feels very good. There are parts of getting to that point that are really tough. And I understand why not everybody has the patience for it, or just not everybody has the desire to play this type of game loop, right? And extraction shooters are kind of a tough sell to most people. It does kind of run along the same lines as a roguelite, where it feels like you're losing a lot. You're losing a lot of times, but you're also losing a lot of stuff every time you lose. However, for me, there is a net gain in the amount of fun I've had, especially because I play with friends. I don't play alone. And also, I do feel like I'm learning when I play. I sometimes. There are some times when I don't, which I can get into a little more detail later. But overall, it's simply fun to play. It's fun to run around. It's quick. It doesn't take a long time to get going. And each matchmaking doesn't take very long, at least not for us right now. Once you're in the match, it doesn't take long for you to start meeting enemies, either player enemies or environmental enemies. It doesn't take long for you to start finding stuff and then having to make decisions about what you put in your bag and your kit. So all of the gameplay systems hit really quickly, as opposed to some other games, maybe more like a PUBG, where it feels like you're sitting or running for a very long time before anything happens. Like, it gets you right into the action. And as somebody who prizes their time over pretty much everything else in a game, I do feel like I'm getting my money's worth in Marathon. And that's really all it comes down to. It feels like it's worth $40 to me. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I don't play it every day. I don't need to, for it to feel like I made a good purchase. So I'm on board.
Yeah, I mean, I play this all the time. Actually, I'm going to play after this. But so my
You
question
play much
to
more
you,
than I do.
my question to you, and look, I know when we play, versus humans, other runners, it can get challenging at times, right? But what do you think of the enemies in this game? Just the bots. We call it the bots enemies here in this game. Like, how's that for you? Because sometimes they could be really ruthless in this one.
It's interesting because the AI and controlled enemies, or the game controlled enemies, unless I'm mistaken, they're all UESC robots. There's different types. Like, there's some that are heavier, some that, shoot grenades at you, some that go invisible, a little more sneaky. But they're all the same enemy faction. I am starting to get a little weary of them. Their aggression level does throw some additional interest and a level of complexity in there, especially as you go from Perimeter to Dire Marsh to Outpost to, I'm assuming, Cryo Archive, which I haven't played yet. I'm not that good yet. So I do get the sense that their difficulty and their behaviors do scale up, which is good. But I hope, and I can't imagine that there isn't a plan for different enemy types in the future, different factions of enemies, since there are so many interesting factions in the game, period. And if I can just kind of talk about that for a few minutes here.
Yeah, sure, for sure.
The lore and story and setting of this game is incredible. And quite honestly, one of the major reasons why I'm still enjoying it so much, even when I don't win a lot, I still unlock more of the story through the different factions and the cutscenes, and even some of the mission dialogue. Like, the contract dialogue gives you some color and some background, and also the codex. Like, it's basically a grimoire of all of the different things going on in this, this fight to reclaim all these resources from humanity. And it's just so interesting. It's so cool, and it's such a unique future, like tech future vision that I haven't seen in a game in I can't remember how long, that it just keeping me interested, right? Like unlocking these progressions and unlocking these different missions and personalities and sets of goals from all of these mission givers is just really, really compelling. And I hope we see more of that translated into gameplay, because right now it really is in menus, and I enjoy my time in the menus when I'm looking at that kind of stuff. But then I get into the game and it almost feels like it wasn't impacted by any of that. And I want to see more of a connect between all of this really cool history and lore and like these factions going at it for all the same stuff put together with what I'm actually seeing in the game world, which is very samey already. Even between the different maps, which are great maps. I think they're built really well, but I don't feel like I'm making an impact on them. And I know that's probably hard to do in an extraction shooter. And like I said, I can't imagine a studio like Bungie doesn't have a plan for this over time. I'm just anxious to see it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm anxious to see how the world's going to change because of what we're doing in it. And I'm just so used to that, again, as a Destiny player, that I'm anxious for it now. However, I will say, as great as these maps are and as great as all the lore is and everything, and the contracts are really cool, and I'm glad that they have the ability to re-roll some of them. The missions, while some of them are interesting and funny, like, you know, fall from a really good height and like let the ticks damage you and, you know, like run until you run out of energy, are really kind of entertaining. Some of these missions are incredibly frustrating and difficult to do, and not because they're hard, but because they're unclear. And that makes me feel like I'm wasting my time. There were a couple of missions that I've had so far where I spent like days trying to like find a medical locker or try to figure out where I get a genetic sample. And I have to look up guides and try to figure out where these things are. And the complication of having other players also doing similar lists of contracts and them also being in the same place and people being very shoot first, ask questions later in the game is fine. I get it. Like, there's going to be that friction, and that's part of the experience of putting players in front of each other a lot. So they're forced to fight or interact, but usually fight. However, for me, it just feels like I'm beating my head against a wall and not making any progress when that happens. And it's frustrating. Very, very frustrating. So I would say maybe I need to do more re-rolling contracts to get past that. Or, I don't know, it just needs to be, there needs to be more explicit instructions in the text when it says how to get something done sometimes. And this is very vague if you haven't played the game, so apologies if you're confused. But basically, it's just tough to complete some of these missions because you don't feel like you have enough information on what to do. And that feels like that's a bummer, you know, like that's a miss in my book.
There is a way, and I get where you're coming from. There is a way to do it. I think it's harder when you play with randoms.
Yeah.
And it also depends on the contract. Like, if it's a contract where it says kill 10 runners or whatever, like, that's
Super
easy to
straightforward.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the ones that I find it very difficult is the one that is like single run, where you have to do multiple things in that contract in one session and then you have to leave. That's when it gets really, really difficult, you know. So, and especially when you play with randoms, they want to do their own thing. They don't care about your contract.
They don't have the same goal. And I will say, it is nice that you can see everybody in your team's contracts, so you at least know what they're trying to do, which is really great communication tool. People need to use it more. I will say that people need to use that more and align your goals. Like I do like that they give you so many different goals because, like, again, the maps don't change yet. To keep it interesting. Like, it does keep it interesting. I would say sometimes it just makes it too frustrating, depending on what those goals are.
Yeah. I mean, it is, to me, I find it a lot of fun. You know, I think when I play with randoms, I just pick contracts that I know will be a lot easier for me to do. So because I still want to level up, you know.
Picking favorites.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You're right too, Ree. Like, look, even if you get a free sponsor kit, that will be like your weapon of choice from that kit. Health, shield, all that. You go to your mission with randoms. If I lose, yes, I will lose the whatever I find in the game and also that free kit. But like you were saying earlier, I still will get some type of experience points that was going to help me to level up. So sometimes I finish a contract, But then there's another faction that also will level up that I'm not doing the contract at the same time. It's weird. Sometimes I'll unlock rewards for a different faction based on whatever I'm doing at the moment, So
Well, you also get credit for your teammates getting their contracts too, which is really awesome.
That's really cool.
There's a lot of things that they did well that do respect your time. I'm just I will want to make sure that I'm not withholding their flowers for all of the ways that they make it feel less punishing than other extraction shooters, because they do a good job with that. And honestly, losing a loot, losing everything in your vault over several bad runs, doesn't feel like an end, right? It doesn't feel like, oh, I can never get back in, I might as well quit. It always feels like you have a chance to get your stuff back, or you always have a chance to build up your stockpiles and get back to fighting shape, I guess is the best way to say it. Without a ton of difficulty. And other runners are very I would say other runners are very aggressive by default, at least by what we have been playing. I haven't played ranked. Have you seen that other people are more or less aggressive with other runners in ranked?
No, I only tried two. I tried Destroyer and the Assassin. That's the two that I've been playing, but I mean
in ranked, else. When you're playing a ranked
you
game.
mean ranked? Oh,
yeah.
I think you meant the faction shells, the class. No, I haven't tried rank yet. Because I didn't want to play with randoms.
Yeah.
I prefer to play with people that I know. It is risky taking a gear that's worth 3,000 credits to go in there and you even know if you're going to survive or not. That's the thing I haven't tried it yet. And that's the thing too. I haven't tried out the last level because of that too. I have it with me. I just need the right people to go with. That's the thing. I don't want to play with randoms.
And everybody has to be ready for the fight of their life, really.
Yes. Yeah. I play everything else. Outpost, Star Marsh, the first level. I played everything. Those are a lot easier for me to take that risk. The other two, I haven't yet.
Yeah. No, I will say the extraction rate, I guess, for my games has not been as high as I would like, but I don't feel discouraged by that. And I do really feel that I want to go play again, even though I lose sometimes. And I'm still enjoying those losses as much as I enjoy the wins. I just don't end up with as much stuff at the end of the day. The stuff doesn't really feel that crucial. Oh my God, I can't lose this thing. It's I'll get another one.
Yeah.
You find enough that it doesn't feel like you really just eliminated all your potential at joy or chance to be triumphant in the future. So I like the balance. I do feel like it's really well balanced right now. I like the different runner shells. They're all really cool and interesting. They give you a lot of ways to find other teams. So Recon can find other teams, the Thief can find other teams. If you play them right, so many of them have wall hacks and abilities to spot people. So I do see that by design, they're pushing runners towards each other. And there have been some games where we have, no lie, we've loaded in and before we even saw a robot, we saw another player. So there's some games where it feels well, geez, I never got a chance, and those suck. Those don't feel fun. Those don't feel fair. But I think they can tweak that. They can tweak the spawns and, make it a little bit more distance between people or fewer teams on the maps or whatever they have to do. Because there's so many systems in the game and different levels that I've never gotten a chance to interact with simply because I'm not as good as other runners on the map.
Yeah.
And that sucks. You know what I mean? I get it. There doesn't need to be an easy mode for every game, and it's the developer's choice into how difficult to make it. But it would be really shitty if I never get to see Cryo Archive simply because other runners are so aggressive, and I will never get enough stuff to get in there because I want to see it. I love raids. I love unlocking the mysteries and finding the Easter eggs and secret rooms and stuff. And I want to interact with all those things. But, if other people are just so trigger happy and never get to do it, that's a loss. And that will bounce me out of a game. So I hope there's a way forward for those more casual players that they're clearly trying to make room for to actually get to play it a little bit more. Because there's a lot that you're naturally barred from if you're not super hardcore.
Yeah, have you been watching the clips of like people trying to solve the puzzles and everything? Like,
I try not to see too much of it, but
yeah,
yeah, I've seen
I
a
don't
few
want to see
here and
any.
there.
I want to be surprised going in there, but yeah, it is very interesting. The stuff that I've seen that's pretty cool, you know. But one last thing for me, I feel like once you extract and you take everything that you find from your session, like it feels really really good, Like it feels awesome. Like
Oh,
yo,
there's some
we did
amazing
that.
like epic gamer moments we've had, like where we like almost didn't make it
Yo,
or
what was the one
almost
that
made
happened?
it and then died. Like there's
Yeah,
so much fun, so many fun moments for
which
sure.
one? Which one was the one that happened with us that we were like, wait, hold on a second, and we made it within one. And it was only like 1 second left, and we made it. That was an
There's been a bunch
outpost.
of those.
There was an outpost where we went to an area. There was only a guarded exfil. That was the only one left. So we got there. It started. For those that know, in outposts, it also rains lava. So you have to
Yeah,
like
there's like a
hide.
heat cascade, and
Yeah, it will
it,
mess
it
you up.
doesn't immediately kill you or anything, but if you stay out there, it'll take damage.
Yeah, take damage. Shield will be gone. Everything is terrible. So we were waiting for it, and then it stopped, and we were like, "All right, let's go." When we went there, somebody else took it. Somebody else took it. And we were like, "Oh no, there's only like a couple seconds left. How are we gonna do this, right?" And then
We all crouched and just
we
held
all
hands.
crouched, hold hands, and we were like, "Yo,
Like,
this is
it's the
it.
end.
This is it." And then it went to 0, and I was just waiting for us to like just game over.
hmm
And it went back, last chance, and then another exfil popped up. We were like, "Yo,
And
we
it's
gotta
like
get there."
60 seconds on the
Yo,
clock.
Yeah,
Run.
we start running. We start running. Then we get tired because we can't. You
Overheated.
can't overheated. You can't run for a long time. And I'm like, and I'm there walking. Okay, now I can run. I start running again, and
Mhm.
I get there. I look back. Ree and the other companion that we met him a couple games before randomly. They're still at the back. Still.
We got like, and then an arm came down from the sky and zapped us, and then we got slowed by a robot in the air, and we're like, "Oh God, no, we're not gonna make it."
So they're still trying to run.
So we're shooting at it, trying to run at the same time.
I'm looking at the time like, oh my God, how are they going to make it in 10 seconds? How are they going to do this? So this guy came first, then Ree was still back. I'm like, oh no,
I
there's
was
only
still
3
slowed.
seconds left.
I was
3
like,
seconds.
I can't do it.
The last second, Ree got there and jumped, and she made it. There was only like 1 second left when she got there, and then poof. That was the highlight of the whole month that we were playing this game.
If you're watching a clip of this right now, we could add a little clip of that because I think I have the minute long last 60 seconds of that.
That was iconic, that moment. And I love that there's so many different moments like that.
Yeah.
Of us extracting super last minute.
Or like that
second.
one game where me and our companion died and you ran across the whole map to finish the mission, so we would at least get credit for that because we didn't have to extract to get it. And then you ended up running back to the extraction and you actually revived us like 5 minutes later because our bags were still there. And we wake up with nothing in our hands because people picked us clean and just start running to the exit. We start running
because we only had a minute or two left, you know.
We didn't make it.
We didn't make it. We died on that one. But I went back and saved you.
We got a mission done.
That team was looking for me. I'm like, I'm out. I went to a totally different area.
There's some really epic gamer moments there, and that's why I'm saying like it is worth trying. It's worth the time. I know it's a dollar commitment, so it's not for everybody, but I have fun with it. And I can tell that Bungie is responding to the feedback. Like, I think you even pointed out, Danny, that people were frustrated that Ranked and Cryo Archive, which is like the high level raid level, were both happening over a weekend. So people had to choose where to spend their time. And they said, okay, we'll make changes. We'll put one on the weekend and one during the week. So you can divide your time and you don't have to make that choice. Like that's great feedback taken in and adjusted. They made the adjustment really quickly, and I appreciate that. Other things like when in your vault you had lots of ammo, they would stack like smaller amounts in several different slots in your vault, and most people's vaults were like half ammo. And they're like, this is dumb. Like, this isn't fun. This doesn't make the game compelling. I can't add weapons because I have ammo. Not a good experience. So they ended up stacking ammo all of the same type in one spot, when it's in your vault. Now, when you take it in your backpack, you still have to make that harder decision. That's part of the game. But I do like that they're making these small adjustments to help quality of life for the players be a little bit less difficult. And once again, it's all pointing to the fact that they really do want to court this more casual, like less intense player base. And it seems like, at least from the player counts, that people are sticking around. But I do think there's some room for improvement and ways to make it even more engaging for people who just really aren't the best shooters and aren't the best at the PvP part of it, because it's just so in your face. We've even died to bots before. Like, even the AI is really difficult. So I understand that it's not every game needs to be for everybody. And a game for everyone is a game for no one. However, if they really are trying to get more people interested in the genre that aren't usually into it, there needs to be some kind of level of approachability that's a little bit easier to access, because truly, I think some of it is just plain too hard for the casual shooter fans, people who play Destiny. So we'll see how they adjust in the future. I have a lot of hope for it. I'm rooting for it. I want to play more, and I want to get better. So
Yep,
I think,
same.
at least for me, they've struck the right chord.
Yeah, no, great job to Bungie. Great job. So now we're gonna go to my interview with Harold. We're gonna talk about his new novel that just came out literally like 2 days ago. So make sure to check it out. It's called The Skinny, and once we come back, we will wrap it up. All right, check it out.
This is Gamer Tag Radio.
All right, so we're back here at Gamer Tag Radio, and we have an award-winning journalist, a legend in gaming, Harold Goldberg. Hey, Harold, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing well. I'm excited. My book, The Skinny, just came out. I'm super happy to talk to you as always. I'm honored to be on this. You're a legend yourself, Dan.
Yeah, man. No, but congrats, man. How's it been with the launch of the book? I know you've been working on this for a while, and how's that been for you?
Well, it's a lot packed into like a short period of time. So I'm hoping the book, The Skinny, here it is. The Skinny has a long, I hope The Skinny has a long tail, but this week is full of like interviews, and there's a piece in Polygon that went up, and we'll have 3 or 4 readings in the next couple of weeks. So it's a lot of stuff. It's all cool though.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And you still doing the gaming stuff too, right? Behind the scenes. I know you guys a couple months back had the New York Game Awards. Still, was it the 15th year already? 15th year?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I can't believe it's gone out this long, but I'm happy about it. And in fact, we had 2 days of events to celebrate our 15th. So
that's cool.
We had the awards, and then we had GG Fest, which included Darren Korb and Ashley Barrett doing a concert for us. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and how different was this time around compared to like the previous years for the New York Game Awards?
Well, I mean, if you go all the way back, Danny, it's like the first one had maybe 50 people in the audience and was streamed to 300. And so now we pretty much have a sold-out audience. People come for the Legend Award, which this year was the Pokemon Company. Last year was like Sam Lake. Year before that was Neil Druckmann. So people like to mingle with the legends. It's really a community event. But also online, we get about 500,000 viewers now. So we're happy about that. And it all it all goes toward our nonprofit, which is our Playing with Purpose program, which goes into underserved schools in the Bronx and in Brooklyn, here on the Lower East Side, to teach kids about games narrative and games writing, like reviews.
And how's that been helping you, throughout the years writing for games, and how's that been helping you with your current book that you have now, like stuff that you've been learning? Is it gaming related at all, your book, The Skinny?
It is. So yeah, so this here we go again. Yeah, the skinny is gaming related in this sense, and it's inspired by my favorite game. So it's a New York City noir novel. So the inspiration is like LA Noir from Rockstar Games, GTA 3 and 4, also from Rockstar, Alan Wake 1 and 2, serious influence there. Sam Lake is awesome. And then a little bit of Last of Us Part 2 in the sense that like what does vengeance mean? What does love mean? What does violence mean in your life? Um this is a dark novel. Skinny talks about the conflicts that come with change, how one New York City vanishes and another appears to take its place, how the rich and poor are in constant battle, how the addicted mind fights with itself for answers. Should true love be suppressed? Because there's a lot of sex or love. It's in this book. What does hope actually mean? And how if you solve one mystery, another it opens up a door to another. So that's game like in its sense itself in the end there, right. So like you open one door to another room and there's another mystery to be solved within. So all those games kind of influence the skinny.
That's cool. And you mentioned a lot of games that I love, especially Alan Wake. That's like one of my all time favorites, especially 1 and 2. What was it that inspired you to write this type of novel for you? What was it? Because you always been into those type of genre of books.
There's a little horror in this. I love horror. My last piece in the New York Times was about Resident Evil Requiem, where I interviewed pretty much all the makers and stars in the game. So I like horror and I like mysteries, and I have for a long time. I remember going back to being a little kid reading like Edgar Allan Poe mysteries, right? So there's like a mix of horror and Poe as well. So yeah, even probably at the age of 6 or 7, I was reading that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. And so, tell us a little bit what's happening with working with a lot of young students in the Bronx. I know Reggie's also involved with a nonprofit. How's that been going? Because I know you guys been doing this now for a very long time.
It's expanding. So we're able to get into more schools now. Our primary area is the Bronx, but we also go downtown here on the Lower East Side. In fact, we just finished up at a school called MS 131, which is, there's kids in there that are unhoused. There's kids in there, all sorts of problems that aren't inside the school, but in their lives. So we're just trying to bring video games to them, and like the idea of like, well, what's involved in creating a game? Can you create a game narrative just like Neil Druckmann does, or just like Sam Lake does? It turns out you can. We partner with Rockstar Games to give away a $10,000 scholarship at the New York Game Awards every year. And that involves students writing a game review and a game narrative. And so this year, the student wrote an excellent piece that used an asthma inhaler as a gameplay device. So I've never seen that before in any game that I did. It could be there, but I've never seen it. And so we thought that was really an excellent gameplay device.
That's really cool. Really, really cool. And Harold, you've been in the gaming industry for a long time. What are your thoughts of like how things has been changing when it comes to like the algorithm? How's that helping or not helping the journalists now? Like when they write articles, how's that been helping? And also for students, like have you guys have that type of conversation with the students that are getting to like journalism like that too, for the next generation.
As far as algorithm, what exactly do you mean, Danny?
Because sometimes it's hard to find this, to discover content. It's hard to discover new writers unless it's something where clickbait or negative content where it will get engagement, and that will help to get the algorithm push. You get you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, definitely, Danny. I get what you're saying. I mean, look, essentially what we're telling people and students is to look beyond the AI wrap up at the beginning of your Google search, and then go deeper. I mean, go to smaller sites like Unwinnable if you need to get deep. It says that you really need to do serious research if you're going to be a journalist, and if you just take the AI slop that comes at the beginning of search, then I think that you're doing yourself a disservice, but also your readers a disservice as well. So at nygamecritics.com, the students that have excelled in our classes become interns for us, right? So they are treated pretty much like young journalists. And they have deadlines. You can't miss the deadline. Your grammar has to be correct. Your punctuation has to be correct. So we treat them like this is a job at a newspaper, basically, or, a website or something like that.
Yeah. And for those that are interested to help and donate or help you guys in any way to be, because I see a lot of the people that I know from the gaming community that will go and help out with the New York Game Awards. Is there a way for people to contact you and the team to help in any way?
Yeah, I mean, if you go to nygamecritics.com/donate, you can make a donation. But if you go to nygamecritics.com, you can find a form to fill out, like, oh, I want to donate to someone who's in the game industry. So you can definitely do that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So what's next for you, Harold? Now that you launch your new book, what's next for you?
So the book as The Skinny is supposed to be a trilogy. I introduce a detective named Stan Kaminsky. And so it ends like it's a proper ending. Like you don't have to buy any more books after this. But there is more to the story, right? So the second book will be about Charmaine, the secondary character in The Skinny, and it will look at things from her point of view. So you're getting Stan's point of view in the first book. You're going to get Charmaine's point of view in the second book. And Charmaine's been through a lot. I mean, they've all been through a lot. By the time you're done with The Skinny, you've gone through like a Grand Theft Auto type chase. You've gone through like a serial killer isms. You've gone through like a really scary horror. You see people who are fairly addicted to drugs. You see like mafia type people. So it's rough for both of these characters, but probably rougher for Charmaine than it is for Stan. So Charmaine's story will be book 2 in the trilogy.
Yeah, and my last question: where can people purchase this book?
So
is
you
it in
can
every
get
retail
it.
stores?
Thank you for asking that, man. So so you can get it online at any bookstore, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, through your local bookstore. You may see it in a physical bookstore as well. You can come to readings too. I have a reading on April 8th at a place called the Mysterious Bookshop, which is primarily only mystery books. And so I'm giving
That's awesome.
I'm
That's
giving
really
out
cool.
these things. So Stan, in order to stay up and do his job, he takes a lot of caffeine meds. I mean, he just really needs to keep going because he's being paid well by like kind of a creepy guy to do his job. So he just keeps eating them and keeps going for hours and hours and hours at a time. So, and I also kind of like, this kind of gave me like a Fallout vibe as well. It says here, Mitts that work as hard as you do. So I don't know if they work as hard as you do, Danny, but
It's all good. No, Harold, thanks a lot for being part of the show. And yeah, I would love to. Hopefully, I could go back to check out the Game Awards. I really enjoyed the one last year too, with Sam Lake and Mega Ran performed too. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun, man. And yeah, hopefully, come to a reading if you're in town. I'm going to be reading from the Skinny all through the summer, so there'll be various readings all around this area and other areas like where that are locations for the book.
Awesome. Well, congrats, man.
Thank you, Danny. Appreciate it.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up here. Gamer Tag Radio, episode 1507. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode. Anything else, Ree, before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I would say thank you for following and being a wonderful part of this community. Let us know what your thoughts are on Marathon and for future episodes, Pokopia, because we'll be talking about all of it.
Yeah, I think we should do that next week. We'll see. But yeah, everyone, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, we're out. Take care. Bye.
Bye.